You're waiting for someone? If somebody comes, just tell them to come join us. Good morning, everyone. Please. Yep. Okay, yep. Are we live? Are we good? Good morning, everyone. We're here for a couple of reasons. First, we want to make sure we get the word out about what has happened to date and who's protected. We celebrated last week some terrific news from the Public Service Commission, which issued its long-awaited ruling, its much-anticipated ruling, guaranteeing that BG&E can't turn people's gas off anymore. The Commission also pledged to every homeowner that they're going to decide whether a regulator goes inside or outside. Hey guys. That same choice that families had in Bolton Hill, now every homeowner in the state of Maryland will have going forward. It's a terrific win, an improbable win, but it means that if BG&E knocks on your door going forward, you can say no to an external regulator and not fear that they're going to turn off your gas, not fear that they're going to make you get an external regulator. That is now the Commission's order, and BG&E has pledged to comply. It's a big deal. It helps hundreds of thousands of families and homeowners in every neighborhood in Baltimore and beyond make sure that they have the choice that residents of Bolton Hill had. What it doesn't do, which is the other reason we're here, what it doesn't do is protect the folks that have already been damaged by BG&E. If the initial focus of the litigation was to make sure BG&E didn't do any more harm than it's already done, the next focus is going to be to make BG&E fix what it's already broken. On this beautiful street, virtually every house was forced to get an external regulator. BG&E told these residents they had no choice, that they would cut off the gas. And the result of that was, one by one, house by house, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, over 6,000 external regulators were installed by BG&E in just 2021 and 2022. They haven't even told us how many they did this past year before this litigation started. But that means there are thousands. What that means is that there are thousands of homeowners who were forced to get regulators that they didn't have to get, that they were unlawfully preyed upon by BG&E. And every one of those residents is entitled to a measure of damages. Our amended complaint that we're going to be filing with the Circuit Court in a couple of weeks will include all of those residents who've already had external regulators installed over their objection. They didn't want it, but they thought they had no choice. If you're one of those folks, we want you to join the lawsuit. We have just in the last 48 hours collected 12 residents of this neighborhood who are signing on to the lawsuit. Ms. Sarita was able to go door to door and make sure that her residents and her neighbors were protected by joining this lawsuit. You can go to justiceforbaltimore.com/stopbge, all lowercase, to sign on to this next phase of the lawsuit. We got dozens of questions. Well, this order protects everyone going forward, but what about me? I was forced to get a regulator in 2021 or 2022. Well, you are who we're trying to protect and get justice for in this next phase. During this period of time, the next 2 weeks, the judge has just yesterday extended the temporary restraining order by agreement of the parties to ensure that BG&E can't do anything between now and when we file this amended complaint. We're working with BG&E to nail down the details of what notice has to go out to the folks in the future, but we're here to tell everyone that the Commission's ruling protects them from being forced to get an external regulator that they don't want, that's unsafe, that's not required by law. And we're also here to invite everyone who got a regulator that they didn't want installed on the outside of their home to join this lawsuit and get the damages and the justice that they're entitled to. Are there any questions?
So the justice is what? And what are the damages?
I mean, we're going to be asking for damages to make sure that these external regulators get moved to the inside, which is what Bolton Hill residents got. In the course of installing these regulators, BG&E and its contractors did tremendous harm to the facades and foundations of these homes. That costs money to repair. They tore up the sidewalks and left them in disarray. That costs money to repair. BG&E has to foot the bill for that because they unlawfully got into your house and did damage to your facade and foundation, tore up your sidewalks without any lawful authority. The commission has now said there is no authority in the regulations or under their contracts to do what they did, to threaten gas service terminations as a way to get into people's houses. That is the justice that we seek.
Okay, so you're saying you're seeking damages, you're seeking money for people to repair.
That's right.
That's it.
We've obviously got the relief that we have sought for people that haven't gotten it. For the folks that are that have already gotten regulators, we are seeking damages, compensatory and punitive damages. BG&E discriminated against certain residents, allowing certain neighborhoods to get internal regulators like Bolton Hill, but forcing other neighborhoods like Milton Munford, like Easterwood, to get external regulators by making sure that they had no choice, even when other communities previously had. They can come up with their excuses for how they saw the light and they suddenly realized that it was unsafe, but the data doesn't show it, the studies don't show it, and now the commission and CHAP have agreed that internal and external regulators are safe, that internal and external regulators are allowed by law, which means that every resident that was forced to get an external regulator is entitled to damages, both punitive and compensatory, for what BG&E unlawfully did.
Okay. So you're seeking money to fix them and seeking money to just pay them for their angst.
I mean, it's not just, I want to be very concrete. This is not some like smoke and mirrors fear. They tore up people's houses. They tore up the sidewalks. They chipped marble. They left the neighborhoods and the sidewalks in disarray. They reduced the property values of these homes. They tore up the drywall inside and left it that way. All of that was damage that BG&E did under a false pretext. All of that was damage that they did without any legal authority to do so. We got to send a message. So the punitive damages that we will seek will also make sure that BG&E understands that they can't bully and bulldoze their way through Baltimore and beyond, that they can't make certain communities bend to their will by threatening them with gas shutoffs and allow other communities to get whatever they want. It's not right, it's against the law, and it deserves a measure of justice. BG&E's got to pay for this.
The story screams out for a homeowner. Is there any way you can have someone speak on behalf of your group? Just coming from, we hear from you all the time. We'd love to hear from somebody that's affected.
Look, I've told them that if anybody wants to speak, they should speak. I'm looking at Sarita, but I want to be clear, because this is litigation, they're not going to tell you about their individual cases. But I'll ask Sarita if you want to share anything. Does anybody want to share?
I mean, this is great progress that you guys have made.
Do you want to say?
Sir, you went around and got the signatures, right?
Excuse me?
You went around and got the signatures?
No,
The
I got
pictures?
this.
Oh, you. But no, but this part, you don't have to speak. How happy you are that this is
Remember.
actually going forward.
I'm the vice president of Milton Montfort. My name is Sabrina Staten. And I just want to say that we are grateful that the Public Service Commission did the right thing for us. Listened to our complaints and what we had to complain about. We don't really have anything else to say because we have already said what we needed to say during the commission when we went down there to testify, because I was one of the ones that testified. Other than that, all of my neighbors here, we're just grateful that someone is listening to what our concerns are. So we're just letting our attorney take care of everything else for us, since we're now in litigation. So we, you know.
How easy people were probably game to sign that petition you passed around. Tell us about that. You know how you got your signatures pretty quickly.
Let's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Can you spell your name?
Yes, it's Saretha. It's spelled S like in Sam, Oretha, and my last name is spelled Staten, Staten.
Nobody else?
And let me be clear, guys. These guys are going to focus. These guys are going to have to face depositions by BG&E. They're going to have to share their individual stories. We don't want to put my clients in a position where they're getting quotes that they were said in the media thrown back at them during a deposition. Okay, so this is not.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Nice to hear.
Yeah, no. They're always going to be more powerful than me. I know we have Jay-Z here. I'll just repeat a couple of things, but I don't feel like people need to stick around. Jay-Z, you want me to give a quick little... as I said, we're here this morning to both celebrate the commission, to thank the commission, to make clear that the commission has now guaranteed that every homeowner in the state will have the same choice that residents in Bolton Hill and Upper Fells had, that no resident is going to be forced to get an external regulator that they don't want, that every resident is going to be told that internal and external regulators are safe, that they're both allowed by the law. And we have a situation where the judge has extended the temporary restraining order by another 2 weeks by agreement of the parties. And that gives us time not only to get the word out that the commission's ruling means that nobody has to fear gas shutoffs and nobody has to worry that they're going to be forced to get external regulators that they don't want. But the other piece of this is that we are urging residents who got external regulators already to join the lawsuit. Here in Milton Munford, a dozen residents have already signed up to make sure that they get the justice, they get the damages that they're entitled to. We have thousands of residents. We have thousands of residents who were forced to get external regulators when they didn't need it. We have thousands of residents who were forced to endure damage to their facade and foundation, who have broken drywall and sidewalks that have been ripped apart. BG&E and its contractors just left after they did their dirty work. Well, they've got to pay for that because they unlawfully entered people's houses under false pretexts and installed terrible, unsafe, unnecessary regulators over the objections of homeowners. And now that the commission has made it clear that they weren't allowed to do that, now that the commission has made clear that every resident gets a choice, all those residents who weren't given a choice are entitled to damages. You got it? All right. You guys good? All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me just talk. You guys good?
Miss Sir.
Yes, dear.